when I do something with Image, some of you can't order my book or can't order a lot of it because DC is making you order 15 different Batman titles. So how am I, an indie weirdo, supposed to compete? There's times where I almost feel conspiratorial, where I almost feel like, are Marvel and DC going out of their way to like fuck with indie comics?
I don't think they're doing it against anyone. The problem is that back then, comic books were selling so many copies. A publisher could survive with like 10 titles. Each titles would sell like 300, 400, 500,000 copies. So you don't need that many titles if you're making so much money out of those titles. Then you start making less money because the industry goes down. And now instead of 300,000 copies, you start selling 80,000 from each individual series. You're making way less money. So now you had to put out more series.
Yeah, I think Matteo's right. I just get the feeling they are struggling to survive, and this is like their answer to that.
This is the Inkpulp Podcast.
Hey, welcome to the fucking Inkpulp Podcast.
How you doing?
How you doing? Dude, it's
Friday,
so funny to have
it's
an
Friday.
Italian
We don't give a
imitate an
fuck.
Italian, have an Italian imitate an Italian American.
With the fucking mozzarella.
Remember those
Jim, you look like a fucking gabagool.
remember those meatballs that you had last night? Guess where the fucking sauce came from? Whoa!
Oh, hey, whoa.
Now we're getting into Andrew Dice Clay. All right.
Oh, by the way, have you seen the videos that he's doing?
No, what's he doing now?
Recently? It just goes, he's on the streets and just starts bothering people, and nobody
gotta
knows
see
who he
this.
is. And he's like, so was it you that you wanted a picture, right? You wanted a picture? You want the autograph? And they're like, the fuck is this guy? Trying to imagine, like, I mean, this guy dressed like he used to dress back then. He still dresses the same.
Yeah.
He looks like a fucking
Lord.
maniac. And he's like, you want the picture from the internet. You want the picture? Oh my God.
Where are you
So it's
seeing
like-
this?
I think it's on his social media, on
All
his
right, I gotta go watch it. I gotta go
Instagram or
watch
something,
it.
yeah.
So he's
still-
doing like Billy on the street, but not
Yeah.
gay. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
basically, yeah.
it's the annoying Italian Guido version of.
The Jewish
Billy.
pretending to be Italian Guido.
Yes, that's right.
That's totally right.
Oh, I completely forgot about that. He's
Yeah.
not.
No,
Yeah,
he's
he's from
a
the
fellow
tribe.
Heb- Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a tribesman. So
Oh,
hey,
by the way,
well,
speaking of, no, go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna shoot. No, go ahead.
Go
Go
to
ahead.
the introduction.
Welcome to the Inkpulp Podcast, everyone. Mateo's got something to say.
No, I wanted to segue, but then we went to do Italian tangent. I wanted to segue because we were talking before starting to record about the questions and Patreon questions and Discord questions. So I wanted to give a huge shout out to all the people that subscribe to both the Discord and the Patreon.
Absolutely.
It's fucking amazing, man.
Yeah,
Dude,
man.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
We are at 48 paid Patreon subscribers as of today, and the Patreon was launched 4 days ago. In my mind, my goal was to hit 50 in week 1, and we're definitely going to do that. So that's fucking awesome.
It's exciting, man. It's cool. Dude, I love the Discord. I've been checking it like 3 or 4 times a day, and like the post your art section is my favorite. It's full already of people just sharing their comics, their art, giving each other advice. It's badass, man. It's cool.
Dude, it is incredible. What I love is the community. It's like I was worried it was going to like be something we had to like post and reply to on everything, but they're all just talking to each other. It's like they needed this little home for the community, and now the bonds are building and becoming stronger. It's like I opened it was like, whoa, this is awesome.
Yeah, I'm actually really sorry that I'm so busy with between family and work, that I wish I could reply. Like sometimes when I find 2 minutes, when I smoke a cigarette, I just take a quick look and I try to reply or to say hello to the newcomers and stuff like that. But I wish I had like an extra hour a day just to,
me too.
just reply
me
to
too.
everyone and do it. And I'm genuine when I say it. I'm not just saying it, just to say, excuse me.
I feel the same way. And I think as long as the three of us take a little bit of time each day to pop in between the three of us, we'll be good. But it seems like they're enjoying each other like just as much as if we were in there.
Well, I mean, it's only week 1, so we'll see. We'll see about that.
Crickets next week.
We don't want a civil war to break out.
Or incredible fights.
Yeah, we don't want a war to break out. I think everyone's peaceful.
Channel. Yeah, we'll
everyone's
start a new channel called Thunderdome where people can go fight.
Yeah.
Inkpulp Thunderdome.
Oh, speaking of channels, I saw a post this morning, I think, of and I think you replied to that, Shawn, if I remember correctly. Dan Fraga. He just reobtained his own YouTube channel after a 5 years fight.
Yeah. I saw that. I was like, oh shit, I don't like that would suck.
What happened?
I don't know. I saw his post. It said after filing they suspended his channel for something that was unwarranted, and he fought it, and finally 5 years later they're like, oh, you're right, and they gave him his channel back.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm glad he got it back, but 5 years, dude, that's rough.
Dude, yeah.
How do you?
I wonder what you have to do.
Yeah, I was going to say he did something to violate.
Well, I mean, okay, so the only thing that comes to mind, and I didn't investigate. I was just like, oh, cool. And but now it's 2025, and if you go back 5 years from now, it's 2020, which is COVID time. So maybe it was something COVID related. Who knows?
Well, maybe. Yeah, I don't know, but I was glad to see he got it back. I didn't know it was gone.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It just made me think, like, if like we're doing so well and we're just kind of in the early stages of really building, it would really suck to lose the channel this early.
Yeah, I can't stress this enough. Jamie, keep cutting all my N-words, all right? Otherwise, we'll be fine. Right?
All the racist and sexist talk, gone.
Yeah,
just cut it out.
No, just keep it at a minimal level, like I normally do, you know?
Yeah. This ruins my plan of adding a category on the Discord titled "Hey Ladies," and I was going to ask for like headshots from girls to audition as my models.
We're going to have Jim's casting couch.
That section's gone.
The new YouTube show is Jim's casting couch, right?
Yeah, I had another section in mind for the Discord, which was share pictures of your Nazi memorabilia that you have. So that one, I don't think I stopped myself even from asking.
Is this whole episode going to be like bad Discord channel ideas?
It could be. That's its own. That's its own thing.
I've got a story that I think we need to talk about to start the show today. Matteo,
yeah,
tell us about the Pantera concert and what happened that night.
Oh my god!
Because I know how it ended, and I know that Matteo, so I want to hear this,
dude. So I don't know. Now it's how do you say, recurrence? Every time there's a Pantera concert, something happens. So it was 2 days ago. So today's a Friday. I went in Bologna. I went to Bologna on Wednesday, but this time I was with a different crew of people, and they are like the troublemakers, friends.
Oh no!
Especially one when he decides to turn it on, it's like you're like it's
go
it's gotta
time.
be a disaster, like a sure disaster. And the concert was at 9 p.m. and we left Parma at 10 a.m. So we
Whoa.
arrived in Bologna at like 11:30, and we started drinking like nonstop
Oh no!
till the show.
Oh,
Oh, dude.
yeah.
We were so fucked up. At a certain point, we arrived there. It's an industrial area, but there's a lot of fast food places there.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to wait another like 20 minutes, literally just 20 minutes for the gates to open. And it was like, you know what? Let's grab something to drink at this like Mexican place. So we sit down at the Mexican place and we started looking for the menu. And he's like, okay, I'm going to order a beer. And they're like, sorry, guys, we are out of the big ones. We only have like the mid-sized ones. It's like, all right, so let's make it 8. We were four people. He bought 8 beers. And then I was looking at the cocktails. And it's like, so do you want to grab a cocktail? I was like, yeah, they have the mule, like their version of the mule with tequila. I was like, okay, so let's make 4 of that as well. So basically in 20 minutes, we chugged like 2 beers and a cocktail.
Oh my god!
And then we ran. We paid and we ran to the show.
Wow. Yeah.
Just to give you an idea, but it was the whole day was like
Oh
that.
my god! This sounds like a shit show.
Oh my god. Well, we had a lot of fun, but
Sure,
in the
sure.
end, we were fucked completely. Like, luckily enough, we hired a driver to drive us back to Parma.
I was gonna ask that.
How long of a drive is that?
It's like an hour.
Okay. Yeah.
And but yeah, it was at night and blah blah blah. So overall, it was like a $300, 350. And so I go back home, and then
Wait. Tell us
of
about the
course,
show. Do you remember the show?
Oh yeah. I remember the show. Yeah. It was super fun.
Was it the original lineup minus Dimebag?
Well, Dimebag and the drummer Vinnie Paul.
Oh, right. But Phil
So
was
they
there?
have, they have Charlie Benante, which is the drummer from Anthrax.
Oh, he's good. He's good.
Oh yeah, he's amazing, and
Holy
Zach
shit.
Wild on guitar. So
Okay.
they're great. The sounds were not as good because they were in a big arena, so the ceiling was super high. Imagine like a huge warehouse.
Right.
So the echo was a lot. It took a while for them to find some decent sounds. But overall, man, we were fucking drunk and it's Pantera, so we had fun.
Yeah.
So I go back home, and this is my recollection. I go back home, and I lay down in my bed, and I wake up the day after. This is, in my head, I slept through the whole night.
This is such a perfect movie thing where you just see him come home, go to bed, wake up the next morning, and then the spouse is replaying what actually happened.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and by the way, I fucked up my knee again, like I did with the previous concert.
So
the
to put
previous
that in
Pantera
context,
concert.
the previous Pantera concert, Matteo fucked himself up. So when he told me he was going to Pantera, I said, "Don't hurt yourself, old man."
Yeah.
And I did it again. I started jumping. After 5 minutes, I can hear like something in the knee, and it's back to square one.
Oh, shit.
No.
I mean, at this point, I know that I have a fucked up knee, and I gotta deal with it, and that's it.
Yeah.
But it's not that bad this time. Like it's already getting better. So I think that in like a couple of weeks, I'll be good to go.
Okay.
So my recollection is just I slept through the night. Instead, Francesca gave me the official version, which is I basically kept waking up every 45 minutes, every hour, more or less, to pee, but I couldn't find the bathroom every time. So
Shit.
one time she found me we have a closet room Is that the right name?
Yeah.
A changing room behind the bed, and I was there, and I couldn't find the fucking bathroom, so I was making a lot of noise. So I woke her up, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" I was like, "I'm looking for the bathroom." Okay. Another time, she hears me like bumping against our son's door, and basically, I was going in his room to pee. And another time, she stopped me right on time because I was about to open the window door in the room, which would have made the alarm go off.
Oh, shit.
And that would have been a disaster. And another time, I went to the bathroom, so I did the right thing. But on my way back, I don't know why, but instead of laying down on my side of the bed, I just laid down on her, like literally, like she wasn't there.
Oh shit!
I just went down on her.
Dude,
honey, I'm home.
How pissed was she the next day? Was she pissed?
To be honest with you, I was surprised. She took it, well.
She's like, "This is my idiot. This is my idiot boyfriend."
Yeah. I mean, as long as I do it like once every 4 or 5 years.
That's nothing. That's nothing.
Yeah.
You're fine.
But this is typical of Matteo's getting smashed. Is the looking for somewhere to pee and finding the wrong room to do it in.
Yeah, but that's the problem. It's not just getting wasted like that. I'm fine. The problem occurs if I go to bed while I'm still into the the alcohol hasn't gotten to the top level, and I go to bed, and then I wake up where I'm the maximum drunk that I could be. And in that case, I don't even understand where I am. Like, there's stories about me. I'm doing stuff, like weird stuff.
Shit, man.
Because people at a certain point cannot find me. Like, one time I remember I got asleep at a pub. I was so fucked up, so I decided to go. There was a free couch, so I laid down there, and I started sleeping. So, everybody stopped paying attention to me because it's like, oh, the fucking idiot is just sleeping.
Right.
But the problem is that I woke up at a certain point and I didn't know where I was, so I started walking. And I left by myself walking. And they found me. Well, nobody found me, actually. Like, I just woke up at 9 a.m. and I was in another neighborhood and I was sleeping in a stranger's car.
Whoa.
I just sleep in there.
Wow. Holy shit, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, in the back seats, I had everything on me. I was perfectly fine. Like, I had my wallet, my cell phone, everything was on me. I wasn't dirty or anything. I was just sleeping in the back seats of this, car. That's
Holy shit. Hey.
So wait, did you have more? Did you go out drinking after the concert?
Well, yeah, because of course, with this friend of mine, he doesn't have, like he's really too much. And so after we finished the show, the car was supposed to be taking us at, I would say 1 a.m. or something, maybe half past midnight or something. So we had like another 20 minutes, and he was like, "Oh, let's go back to the Mexican place." So we went back there, and he ordered, because sometimes he just goes to the bar and orders stuff for you without you even asking. So you find yourself surrounded with alcohol.
Damn, man. That's trouble. That's trouble.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Were there opening bands for Pantera?
Yeah, there was King Parrot, which I think is maybe a British band, but I'm not sure. And another band called Power Trip.
Oh, dude, Power Trip's great. I've got one of their records.
Yeah, they're great.
Those guys are fucking awesome. Okay. Swing of the Axe.
Yeah.
Do you know that song?
Oh, I don't know the names
shit.
of their songs.
Yeah, they're Swing of the Axe. Like, it's one of my fucking gym workout songs.
Hell yeah.
What
Hell yeah.
is- They do like trash metal, right?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's thrash. Is that like
Thrash, heavy metal.
Yeah, it's more. It's like more. I was gonna say sludgier kind of, but dude, it's like barbarian metal, like Swing of the Axe. Like, we're talking about warriors.
This sounds great.
You know, shoving axes into each other's faces on the battlefield. Like, dude, this is so ridiculous.
Oh, I love that.
It's fucking awesome, though.
Yeah.
I think my next major art book I want to call it Swing of the Axe.
Oh,
Like,
that's
what a metal
Yeah,
that's fucking
awesome.
cool. That's fucking
awesome.
cool. But dude, that's a good show. Holy shit, Power Trip and Pantera.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. Again, the only downside was the location. That, you know, the sounds were the acoustic of the place was not great.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, we had fun.
I went and saw Anthrax when I was still living in LA at like the famous Wiltern Theater, and it was I brought my buddy Dave Crosland. Shawn, you know Dave, and charming, artistic dude, black man, and we walked into the venue, and Dave was just like, "Oh shit, I'm like the only black guy here." It was just white dudes and some Latino dudes, but like all in their, you know, late 30s, early 40s. Like, that was the Anthrax crowd.
Of course,
and it was all, you know, moshing, but adult style moshing, where everyone had to go to work the next day. So no one,
Everyone
it
had
was like,
knee
it was like,
issues.
we can mosh, but like, don't like fuck up my face, dude. Like, you know, like polite moshing. But it was like,
cordial moshing.
yeah. But dude, the musicianship, the way, seeing those guys play that fast of music, tight of music, like, you have to be a technician to play that live.
absolutely.
Oh yeah, man.
For an hour and a half straight. And I was just watching the drummer from Anthrax, and it's like, you can't even see his hands. It's just a blur. Like, he's playing
Oh yeah.
so fast and so well. It's like, even if you don't like thrash or you don't like metal or rock, it's like, this is almost, you have to respect the technicianship of this playing.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking incredible. It's insane.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Like, to me, the most insane one I saw live was Dave Lombardo, just a drummer from Slayer, Testament, Mr. Bungle.
Yeah.
And he is incredible because not only he's super fast, but he's powerful. Like, he plays really, really hard.
Right.
And sometimes he plays for like an hour and 30 minutes. And he keeps, you know, the volume of his strikes are still like at the same level. Because some of them, there's other drummers that can go really fast, but they don't play hard. And, you know, nowadays, especially with all those, you know, new microphones, the new technology, the triggers, which are specific, basically they're sensors. So what they do, they catch the strike. So, and then they bring the input into a computer that translates it into a specific sound. So even if you touch it lightly, the sensor reads it and translates it into a powerful sound,
Right.
even if
A
you're
boom.
not playing hard. Yeah. It's used especially for the drums,
Right.
for the bass, because that's one of the, usually, especially metal, it's required for the bass to be heard, but it's really hard to microphone and to, you know, to microphone it properly, you know, to amplify it properly. So it was usually always a problem. So, and then nowadays they just use the trigger sensor, so you can hear the bass all along. But yeah, I saw him playing without any of this kind of tools and instruments, and still you could hear every single stroke through the whole concert. So he's incredible.
I love it. It's badass, dude. This makes me want to go to a show. Makes me want to hear some live shit.
I've been to a show. I looked at tickets to go see Tyler to take my kids, because that's like one area where all of our tastes kind of come together. We have such love for Tyler.
Yeah, dude, he was just here last weekend, and Scotty took his son.
Oh, I would love to, but do you know how much tickets are?
I have no idea,
dude. They were like $370 each.
Holy shit!
I was like,
just for general admission, like
yeah. I was like, I can't take my kids. I can't spend the G to take my kids to see Tyler. Like.
That's insane.
I couldn't believe, and that was for the cheaper tickets. There were more expensive tickets. Now it might be the show is in a month and a half, so maybe the really cheaper tickets sold out, and this is all that's left. But I don't know how much cheaper can it actually get.
Dude, that's crazy.
That was insane. It was insane.
It's weird because I mean, I don't go to sporting events, but I guess live sporting events now, it's like over $100 to just go see like the Kansas City Royals here. If you just want to walk into the stadium, get shitty seats, that's still $100. Going to see the football team, the Chiefs, that's like $300 or something. I'm like, wait, how do families go see sporting events?
I know. I mean, do you remember when we were younger? Like, you'd go see a show, it was like $20-$30. Like, boom, you're seeing a great show.
Yes. I used to go to $5 all ages punk shows when I was in high school.
Yeah. Like, the underground shows were really cheap.
That's a whole other thing, but.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, well. That shit's expensive.
You could stand outside the theater the night of Tyler and get some scalp tickets, maybe. I don't know.
I remember the Cube tickets. Like, they weren't crazy, but you were like, dude, these are going to cost us a little bit.
That's right.
They were like, what, $100 each, $90? Yeah. I mean, it was
Ice
worth
Cube.
It. That was a fun.
It was a fun, yeah. But no, my little brother, opened up for Ice Cube, and I'm like, can you not? You can't hook up. The annoying question of just, is there guest list? He's like, not really. Okay.
I mean, when you're the opening act, you get fucked.
Yeah, they don't give a shit.
No.
Man, concerned about the state of the art form, the state of the craft.
Jim, what's up, brother? Look, don't worry. I've hired Dr. Pulpenstein, and he's going to fix everything.
Dr. Pulpenstein?
Hello there, Jim. I am hard at work at the antidote of what ails our craft. I've given Shawn the first dose.
First dose? Can you explain?
That's right, Jim. I got the first dose. I'm giving away my brand new sketchbook for free.
Free? Are you crazy?
Si, senor. It is correct. The first dose is Shawn's free sketchbook.
We're doing like a Spanish thing now, I guess.
That's right. My new sketchbook, Inkpulp Magenta, is totally free. All you gotta do is head over to my Kickstarter pre-launch page, which is for my new art book, Inkpulp Cyan. Enter your email, pledge at any tier level on the Inkpulp Cyan campaign, and you will get Inkpulp Magenta, the sketchbook, free PDF emailed to you.
Man, that is great, Shawn.
See ya, Jim. Shawn's newest sketchbook is totally free.
Okay, this is Italian now? Is that what's happening?
Speaking of parting, have we talked about your Greece con on this show yet, Jim? Have we had that talk?
No.
You want to talk about Greece a little bit? Tell us about the experience there.
Yeah.
I think we talked about Greece.
Did we?
Yeah, the last episode. Am I right?
That's what I'm trying to remember. Or was that a meeting we had?
I think it might have been a meeting, but either way, all of us are invited for next year.
I'm definitely going.
So I think they're talking February.
Yeah, I'm there.
But yeah,
Athens.
man, it was a blast. And Shawn, you and I just did Inkpulp live this week with Eric Talbot, and I showed off a bunch of the comics I got in Greece.
That's right.
And
That's right.
Greece has this insane indie comic scene of really cool young artists just making their own stuff. And I didn't expect to see that kind of stuff. And it was just like, there's a whole movement happening there.
Yeah, I'm very excited to go see that.
So
I definitely
just to see
that.
that part of it is inspiring. And then also the people who brought me out, they're all just like lovely, warm, awesome people that love the art, but they also want to have fun. So by the end of each day, they're like, you want to drink at your table? We're getting ready to go to dinner soon. We're going to eat and drink and whatever you want to do. Let's have fun. If you want to fucking smoke cigarettes and drink ouzo until 4 a.m., there will be people around that you can do that with. If you want to go back to your hotel and crash out, whatever you want to do, here's some dark-haired, gorgeous Greek women to hang out with. whatever you want to do. I was like, this place is the shit. It was almost like Diet Italy. It was almost like, not quite the level of Italy with like the people, the food, the coffee, the wine. But it was like right kind of up there. But not.
Oh yeah. We're definitely similar culturally. Yeah. So I was not surprised. Even for me, when I went there, I think I told you the story. Now, I don't remember if I told it on the show or it was just the three of us.
I don't remember either.
Yeah. I when I went there for a show in Athens, and we go back like more than 10 years ago, and I wanted to leave. Like I went there, but I was going through a phase. It was. I wasn't in the right state of mind. So I landed there, but I wanted to leave. So I was already looking for tickets to fly back home. And I ended up staying the whole time because, I had so much fun and the people were awesome. And I felt like I was at home, like easily.
Yeah.
Like in my head, I was like, if I don't fly back home and I decide to stay a year, like the transition would be so smooth because it felt like home to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was wonderful, man. I could have stayed a couple extra days, but the fact that like I made the friends I made and I'm still in touch with them, like everyone is super excited about the idea of us thinking about going back next year. So,
Love it.
But I hear what you're saying, Matteo, because like I wasn't ready to go out there and I've been so busy with stuff. Like I did no preparation. I just kind of got on the plane and was like, I guess I'll see what this is when I get there. But 3 flights to get there, 3 flights to get home. I mean, that in itself is kind of like, yeah, fuck. The flight home, I got super lucky because I flew from Greece to Germany. It's just like a 2-hour flight. And then the big flight is Germany to Chicago, like an 8-hour flight. On that flight, the flight was not full. And I went out of my way to ask the stewardess, like, there's a couple empty rows, completely empty in my air. I'm like, are these empty? Like, could I possibly move and get my own row? And she did her little research on her iPad and was like, that whole row is open if you want it. I'm like, great, I'm taking it. Fuck it. And man, I was able to spread out and sleep. And I was like in all black and I had my black sunglasses on and I had the blankets for each seat, 3 seats.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I ripped out 3 blankets total, made like a cocoon as my earbud falls out, made like a cocoon. And I was like this all black, like slug just on laid out for like 8 hours and nobody fucked with me. And I actually was able to sleep, which I normally can't sleep on planes because I'm so uncomfortable.
It's hard.
But
well, man, I don't do that kind of shit. I just fly,
Oh, here we go.
First
here
class.
we go. Fans, bougie Matteo, he gets his bed on the plane. Fucking asshole.
What's weird is I never ask for things. So for me, moving forward, it's like, well, can I just start asking promoters for an appearance fee or for first class travel if it's international?
I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask.
Doesn't hurt to ask. Yeah. But
I never thought
Well, I
to
mean,
ask
now,
either.
now first class traveling, like international, like overseas, it's fucking expensive, man.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
it got worse over the past few years, and now it's like $4,000, $5,000.
Jesus.
It's fucking
Jesus, man.
expensive.
Shit.
So maybe an appearance fee.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because the promoters will sometimes fly out a person's spouse with them.
Yeah,
Like they'll
that's
cover
true.
that.
Yeah.
So if I'm flying solo, it's like, well, can you compensate for if I had a partner with me and just upgrade
Yeah.
my flight or do an appearance fee? It doesn't hurt to ask. So we'll see.
Yeah, it doesn't
Whatever.
hurt to ask.
Yeah.
And then I guess
Well, another thing that they could do, which is something that I do when I see that they're too expensive and I don't think it's worth spending that much money, what I do is that I fly on the flight in, I'm pretty fresh. I travel through the day, so I'm not tired and I'm excited because I'm gonna get to a show. So I fly like economy plus or something, like economy comfort
comfort, yeah.
on the way in, and on the way back, that's when I fly first.
Okay.
That makes sense.
And you save a pretty considerable amount of money.
Yeah.
doing
Are
that.
you talking, Matteo, you book that or the promoters paying for this? They're booking that for you.
No,
'Cause you
I
asked.
booked that. What I do now, if they're paying for it, I just ask them how much is the budget for the flights, and I'll do my flights, and they'll give me the money. That's what I do.
Right.
So I can
you'll
control
pay
the
for
flights.
your
I can
own,
decide.
right? So they'll give you like $1,000, and you'll pay the difference between that and first class.
Yeah.
Okay.
But generally speaking, if you ask the show, you can ask them to do that. You can ask them to fly economy on the way in and fly first on the way back.
Yeah,
Right.
That's another solution.
Right.
it's a good idea.
I just got
All right.
super
Or
lucky.
you can do that and
Yeah,
ask for just a refund. Or you ask them in advance how much is their budget and just get that money.
Or
and-
what you
and
can
handle
do,
that.
the cheapest way to probably do it is just have them book your flight, and then like a week before, pay for an upgrade to first class, because the upgrades will be cheaper than buying the first class ticket. But you take the risk that there might not be upgrades available. But I always see it, like when I go to like check in my flight, they're like, "Do you want to upgrade to first class for this much?" And I've never done it, but now I'm like, well, maybe I should.
Yeah. I mean, if you make good money at the show,
Yeah.
I just got lucky with having that aisle to myself.
Yeah,
man.
that's awesome.
8 hours of just being able to like lay down, sleep. Like the flight was
Yeah.
quiet. There was no kids around me. I just got super lucky. But
And that helps when you get home. You're not as fucked
yeah.
up.
But then I had to do Chicago to Kansas City, which is just like an hour and a half flight. And luckily I landed at night. So I got home at 11 o'clock at night, and then I was able just to go straight to bed.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because if I would have landed and it was daytime,
Oh, that would have sucked.
it's like, oh, I have to go through the day, or I don't know. You know.
Which is what happens to me all the time because I fly during
Yes.
the night when I fly back home.
So this used to be a good podcast about craft and comics, and now it's just old man complaining about traveling.
About how prices for concerts are too high. How uncomfortable it is to fly. Jesus.
and your arthritic knee.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly.
All right, so I did have a question I wanted to ask the last time Matteo and I were recording, but you weren't here, Jim, and I really wanted your input on this one. Especially for you, Jim, with you being very focused on self-publishing, creator-owned stuff, and doing your own thing, how important do you think it is to maintain some sort of a freelance career? Like working for publishers?
That is a good question. I think, having one foot in that arena is still a good idea because I still do variant covers.
Right.
I'm talking to an ad agency right now in New York about the possibility of me doing some illustration work for a high-end client of theirs.
Yeah.
We're tossing around the specs and the ideas and a budget on that. And it's funny, yesterday I just got hit up by Harper, who runs Rick Remender's operation. And he was like, hey, dude, your variant cover for Sacrificers 15 is coming out soon. Can you give us your address for comps and stuff? And I did that cover like over a year ago, but it reminded me like, oh, cool. Yeah, I did a cover for Rick. Like that's cool to have coming out soon, I think in March. But I think it's important to maintain a presence like on the shelf of comic shops through variant covers, or if you want to do short stories or something, but then building a foundation of also having my own thing, which is what I'm fully going for these days.
Totally. Why is it important though to be on the shelf? Like, explain that.
I think it's just a reminder to people that might not be aware of my Kickstarter, or that you can order my books through my website or at conventions, that I'm part of the art of comics. Like I'm still part of what's going on, you know, because when I go into the comic shop, like literally people will be like, oh, hey, what's up, dude? Digging what you're doing. Picked up your Godzilla variant cover. Saw this, saw that, you know. So that's the downside, man, of the Kickstarter, even though I offered retailer tiers and retailers ordered those tiers. I know that not every comic shop in America or international is going to get Savage Street Vigilante. So by self-publishing and by crowdfunding, it's kind of a strange thing to realize, like, well, you're potentially taking away the comic shop direct market part of this. It's on you to really let retailers know and to hustle the books and let them know they can order the comic. So it's an interesting balance of figuring all this out.
Right. You know? And what do you think about the idea of doing like in stores once your Savage Street Vigilante comes out? Is that
I'm going to do that.
Okay.
I'm doing that. I don't want to. We don't have it confirmed yet, but I'm talking to a shop in Kansas City.
Okay.
About
but
doing
have you
that.
Thought about, and do you think it'd be valuable to like do a little tour? Like
I do. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I have time to do that, but I love the idea of that.
Yeah, I love the idea too.
You know,
that's something I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And one thing that bummed me out is that when Black Science was over, my plan, the thing that I wanted to do with Rick was to do a tour when the last issue was out, to do a tour like to close Black Science. And we didn't manage to make it happen. Then Rick's father got really sick, so we couldn't. But it's something that I'm still think about sometimes. I'm like, fuck, we should have done it.
Maybe what we could do is, Matteo, when your book comes out, because my Kickstarter is launching in like a month. Jim's is already done. Jim will probably have another one done by the time yours goes. Maybe we could do like a book tour, like the three of us. Like we could, fly into Kansas City or fly into Atlanta and then just hit the road for a little bit and do some signings and shit like that.
That would be badass.
Yeah. That'd be great. Yeah.
That'd be amazing. It's also figuring out, to me, in the States, like what are the most indie friendly stores? Like what are the stores that would get the most hype out of us showing up?
Right. Right.
I wonder, is there, as we were talking, something came to my head, but is there a place where there's a retailer's community that you can refer to if you want to get in touch with retailers?
I think there is. I know that there's like at San Diego, before San Diego, they used to have the Retailers Summit.
Yeah.
Where the retailers came in. So I think there is like some sort of network where the retailers stay in touch. That's something I think we could find out pretty easily. But yeah, I think so. And it's probably good to get involved with that.
Yeah, if someone knows, like, comment below. But I remember, Shawn, you're right. There's a Retailers Summit, and I think it travels to different cities each year because they did it in Pittsburgh 3 or 4 years ago, and Ed Piskor and Jim Rugg were like the keynote speakers when Cartoonist Kayfabe was on fire.
wow.
And
Wow.
they were explaining to retailers like the importance of YouTube and direct communication with fans and what they were doing to promote their books. And it was really interesting and fascinating, but it just so happened to take place in their home city, and they were asked to show up and talk. So yeah, I mean, all that stuff is super interesting. It's also interesting because I talked to my buddy who owns a comic shop out here, and the shop I go to the most, and it's interesting to hear his perspective on things, especially right now with like Diamond and all the transitions that are happening with the industry. It's not total doom and gloom. It's just a major change is happening right now.
Yeah.
And people are kind of scurrying to figure out like, well, what happens next? Like, how do we adapt to the changes? You know, it's sort of, we're going in, I mean, it's always been the Wild West, but I feel like we're continuing to go into the Wild West with
I think what we are
comics
doing
work.
with everything we're doing with Inkpulp stuff, I think we're kind of like we're on a good path and we're ahead of the curve a little bit.
Yeah.
Like doing the Kickstarters, having the channel, having the all the Patreon stuff, the social media.
Yes.
I think we're leaning to it. But I would like to, because I do think about this. It would be nice to figure out how to include retailers in what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, man, offering, even if you're crowdfunding, offering that retailer tier and letting them know, I'm giving you half off of the cost of the books, and they'll come signed. Or if you want me to show up in person and do a signing, we can try and figure that out. But I don't want to feel like I'm leaving them out of the equation.
Totally,
it's just
totally.
for me, it's like,
no, absolutely.
for me, it's like, you guys listen, when I do something with Image, some of you can't order my book or can't order a lot of it because DC is making you order 15 different Batman titles.
Right.
And you want to make your customers happy, and a lot of your customers want those 15 Batman titles. So how am I, an indie weirdo, supposed to compete with 15 Batman? But so, you know what I mean? It's an odd cycle of how this stuff works. And there's times where I almost feel conspiratorial, where I almost feel like, are Marvel and DC going out of their way to like fuck with indie comics? Like, do they really need 15 Batman titles? Do they need 14 Spider-Man titles a month? Because when I was a kid in the 80s, there was like 2 Spider-Man titles, and then like Web of Spider-Man came out. It's like, oh shit, it's a 3rd Spider-Man title. When I was a kid, Batman was just Batman and Detective. And then they introduced Legends of the Dark Knight. And that was kind of a shocking thing, like, oh, a 3rd Batman title. But now we're at the point where it's like, is this just fucking greed?
No,
from the companies?
I think personally, I've already spoken about this, about my opinion. Again, I'm super ignorant, so I might be terribly wrong with it. But I don't think they're doing it against anyone. So it's not a move against independent indie comic books or anything like it. The problem is that back then, the time where you were just describing, like, comic books were selling so many copies that a publisher could survive with like 10 titles, because each titles would sell like 300, 400, 500,000 copies, sometimes millions of copies. So you don't need that many titles if you're making so much money out of those titles. Then you start making less money because the industry goes down. And now instead of 300,000 copies, you start selling 80,000. So now from each individual series, you're making way less money. So now you have to put out more series. in order to obtain the same amount of money monthly. You know?
Yeah, I think Matteo's right. I just get the feeling they are struggling to survive, and this is like their answer to that. I think they're in such like struggling to survive mode. They can't even look out. Like they're like a ship in the water that's sinking, and they can't even see what's going on with the other ships. They're just dumping water as much as they can to stay afloat. That's I mean, again, I'm like Matteo. I don't know. But
I keep talking about this. This is not the first time I talk about this, but there's a really interesting conversation that Mark Millar had with another 3 or 4 retailer. He made, you know, his podcast. He had a special episode with just retailers, and they were talking about the problems of the industry, what sells, what doesn't sell, and they were starting to try to come out with solutions as well for the industry. And one of the solutions was that many of them agreed on was they have to go back to an incredible level of quality. So hire the best writers, hire the best artists, and hire them for like 4 years. So have them write a full like 40 to 50 issues, full like huge story arc with a story that makes sense, and pay them a lot so they stay and don't leave after 5 or 10 issues, you know?
Right.
Yeah. I think
that because they were saying if the quality is there, if you go back to having like a incredible series, people would read it. Of course, we're not going back to 2 millions, 4 millions copies sold, of course. But, you know, you're still gonna be able to make, you know, good numbers if the quality is there.
Yeah.
And it's interesting.
And I do feel like we need new readers, and I think they're not reaching children, and I think they've tried, and I think that's a problem. I think if like the mainstream publishers could find a way to reach children, like look, you have these Spider-Verse movies. They were incredible. They were artistic. They were like so well written, so well done. They were incredible films, and kids and adults too that loved them. But where's their answer to that? Like, where's the book that the kid can say that was awesome? I want like, you know, a cool Miles book for me. And then they go to a comic shop and it's like, it doesn't exist. It's overwhelming. There's a million Spider-Man titles, and also getting them into the comic shop is a problem. So where is it in the bookstores and stuff like that? I wonder, because Darwin Cook pitched a kid's line to Marvel that he was going to art direct and oversee the whole thing. And it never happened. But I really wonder, because I think Darwin would have been the right person for that.
Oh, yeah.
And I wonder what would have happened if that came to life. That could have been pretty fun. And he did some, like, there are some sample pages. There's like a Hulk page. It almost looks like Kirby did it. Like, it's dope. I just think it would have been, I don't know. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if part of the problem is the medium itself, that it's not modern anymore. And there's so many more media that are way more powerful than comics now.
I would say no, because if you look at the numbers manga sells, it's in America, it's huge. Like kids are reading the comics in manga. And then if you look at like Bone, the numbers are huge. Like if you look outside of the like direct market and you look at the graphic novel market, like we are a like a dwarf compared to that stuff. And then webtoons, you know, that's a whole not like people reading comics online. That's massive, and those are a lot of them are young people reading.
Do you know how much like an average manga sells in the States? I don't know. I never looked at the stats, so I was curious to know what these big numbers are. Not because I don't believe it. I genuinely, I'm curious to understand it, to have parameters, because I never checked Like
Yeah.
all I know, and even those retailers were talking about the fact that manga is super popular, and they were trying to come out with why, and but yeah, they say they sell really well, and that's all young people want, which makes sense. But I would love to know, what does that mean in terms of numbers? Like, are they selling 100,000 copies? Are they selling 200? Are they selling 500,000 copies? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, that's the other strange thing is, like, with comic book circulation and sales, it's not really, they don't really make that public online of, like, what are the actual units that, like, that Batman's selling every month? Like, what are the actual units? You know, when I would do my book with Image, of course, gives me my exact numbers of what I'm selling. But that's part of the accounting. That's part of the business. But yeah, it's interesting to think about, like, at the end of the year, they always total the percentages, but not exact numbers. So they'll be like, manga sales took up 40% of all book sales. Young adult was this, but only Marvel and DC superhero mainstream comics was like a little fraction of the pie, you know, but knowing those exact numbers,
you could add a clear idea when everything was under Diamond distribution, because through their website you could see, well, not manga, but you could see all the American comic books. They had the charts, the best 100, the top 100 in terms of sales, the TPBs and all that stuff. But now it's all scattered.
And that's just the direct market. So when you're talking about manga, like, it's not just the direct market. There's the book market too, which is a whole different
So direct market, and this is something that some people might find interesting. So when you talk about direct market, we're talking about retailers that buy from the publishers through a distributor.
You're talking about comic book shops buying
retailers.
But they're not bookstores.
Okay. Specifically comic book shops. That buy in stock, and then they try to sell it through to their clients.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
So
Gotcha. And instead, to compare to what's the other type of market?
I just call it the book market. I don't know if that's the right word. But
which is the shops, selling to customers.
And even like a bookstore in an airport. Like when I was traveling recently, most big airports have a bookstore, and there's like a little section with manga and maybe a couple trade paperbacks from Marvel and DC. But I consider that to be outside of the direct market.
That is.
And in that case, how do they do that? Do they still order through the standard channels? Or
no, I don't think they go through Diamond for that stuff. I think I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, yeah, especially since like DC, their books are now available through, is it Penguin, or who's distributing them now?
I think that's they have book publishers handling that side of it.
So if you're Barnes and Noble and you're ordering DC trades, you're ordering them through Penguin anyway. Like you're ordering them. So it's an interesting system, man. That's why I'm carving out my own lane of like.
I think it's the way to go.
Dabble with the direct market still, but then also write and draw what I want to do and make it my own lane of a thing.
That's the way. This is the way, Jim.
This is the way.
All right. So guys, we're going to wrap it up here. What we're going to do is we're going to continue on to record our Patreon exclusive episode. I've got questions that you all Patreon subscribers on our Discord have asked, so we're going to go deal with that. If you want to hear the answers to these questions, hit that link below. Get in on the Inkpulp Patreon.
And if you don't, fuck you.
Oh, there you go.
You heard it.
He said it.
But please subscribe to the Patreon.
Yes.
Because again, if you don't, fuck you.
And we got our first portfolio review. Did you guys see that?
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm gonna, after when we're done recording, I got some questions for you guys, but I'm gonna reach out. One of the Patreon things is we're offering a one-time purchase for portfolio review. You will send us pieces. The three of us will record a 30-minute review of it, and that will be on Patreon. The episode that we record reviewing it will be on Patreon too.
I was wondering regarding the portfolio review. So if a person pays for his portfolio review, they get the video for themselves as well, right?
Like we'll send them. No, we'll just put it on the Patreon and they'll watch it there.
Well, but then we force them to pay.
No, they've already paid. They can't buy the portfolio review if they're not a subscriber. They've already paid. Yeah.
Okay.
Like
okay.
no one can just go in and buy it. It's for
okay.
people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Gotta subscribe, baby.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Matteo.
Is there anything you guys want to plug, just in case?
Oh yeah. Well, this is coming out, guys. Pretty soon, I'm gonna have my landing page for my Kickstarter, for my new art book. So, keep an eye on that. This will be coming out. It might be up already. So yeah, if you want my free sketchbook, you'll get it just by giving your email into the Kickstarter. If it's up now, you'll see the link below.
Awesome.
Nice.
How about you, Jim?
Guys, I do an email newsletter. Subscribe at my website, jimmafood.com. Follow Inkpulp Live on YouTube. We're crushing it over there, guys.
Speaking of that,
we're
our
crushing it.
episode
Come on.
with Eric Talbot was so incredible. If you guys missed it, I mean, you do want to see it for Jim's recap of Grease with all the cool comics, but that episode was incredible.
Yeah.
Go watch it. It's on the channel. Go
Eric
definitely
just
watch it.
brought it so hard with just the end
God.
10 minutes of him showing his sketchbook stuff.
Unreal. It was so good.
It's crazy.
So good. Yeah, go check that out.
Yes.
And Matteo, anything you want to plug?
And yeah, just my website, matteoscalera.com. You sign for the newsletter, you get a full PDF version of my new sketchbook for free. And also, you get updates through my newsletter. And soon I'll have a newsletter regarding commissions, because I'm going to be doing a show in Dallas soon, a month from now, more or less, which is a collector summit. Heritage Auctions is organizing an event in Dallas, more or less like the Como show or OAX in Orlando. It's just a 2-day show just for collectors and artists to meet. And then I have the C2E2 in Chicago in April, and I'll try to do some mail away commissions as well for people that cannot be at either of those shows. So I'll open up a list where you can sign up to get a commission. So even if you're not going to be at the show, there's going to be a few slots available, and you'll be able to get a commission from me. And that's it. So sign up.
All right. Yeah, and guys, go to my website, inkpulp.tv, and get on my newsletter as well. Get on all of our newsletters, because we are communicating a lot through that.
Yes, please.
And subscribe to the Discord channel, which is
Definitely, yeah, there's a lot of fun going
cool
on.
people there.
Oh, hell yeah.
Link below on all the things. All right, Matteo, do it. Do it, baby.
The Inkpulp Podcast.